We've got another doubleheader for the SEC on CBS this Saturday beginning at noon with the Auburn Tigers heading to Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks. And it's a game with added importance in the SEC West after Alabama's loss at Texas A&M. And Auburn still controls its own fate in the division. In the 3:30 time slot, it's the big one in the SEC East. The top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs hosting the unbeaten Kentucky Wildcats. Georgia continues to dominate their competition with a smothering defense, and the offense helped them break things open in the second half at Auburn.
Deep ball down the middle, and it is caught over the shoulder. McConkey, touchdown right down the middle, right down the seam, 60-yard strike.
As for Kentucky, they're 6-0 for the first time since 1950 and appear to be Georgia's only potential challenger in the division. If Big Blue can steal this one, they'll be the heavy favorites to win the East. But that's a big if. Mark Stoops has the 11th-ranked Wildcats playing inspired football ahead of their biggest test of the season.
15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kentucky! C-Rod! Wow. With a nail in the coffin of the LSU Bayou Bengals.
Might we see another massive upset of the number one ranked team? Or will that dog D be too much for Kentucky to handle? First place in the SEC East and a potential clear path to the conference championship on the line Saturday in Athens. And this is how it sets up on CBS, an SEC West battle, followed by a game that's likely going to decide the SEC East champion. It begins at noon with Arkansas hosting Auburn, 3:30, Georgia, the number one team in the country, hosting Kentucky. It's Saturday on CBS and also streaming live on Paramount+. In our first game, Auburn heading to Arkansas, going for their 6th straight win over the Razorbacks. Despite falling out of the top 25, Auburn still controls its own fate in the SEC West, but a gauntlet of a schedule upcoming. The hometown Hogs are the favorites, something that has been extremely rare in Fayetteville the last several years. That is not lost on their head coach, Sam Pittman.
You guys are a slight favorite in this game. I think it's the first time since you got here you've been an SEC favorite. You know,
no, I know it is.
Of course, Texas is kind of a quasi-SEC team, Power 5. So it's the first time.
We weren't favored there either, Bob.
Yeah, it's the first time you've been favored against a Power 5 team. Just how does that feel? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it has any outcome on the game or not, but I'd rather be favored than 22-point underdogs. I mean, I don't know what it means, to be honest with you, but you know, we are favored against Auburn, so we've come a little ways, you know, so we'll find out. I mean, that obviously, if that was the case, we'd be going in this game, we'd be 2-14, you know, but you still got to play the game. But so I don't really know how to answer the question.
Well, Arkansas has lost 5 straight in the series. It's the longest losing streak for any team in this series. Got to go back nearly 20 years to find an unranked Auburn team that beat a ranked Arkansas team. Let's bring in Aaron Murray, who's going to be on the call for this one on CBS noon Eastern time. Aaron, you heard what Sam Pittman had to say. Don't often have coaches commenting on the betting line for the game, but it is a sign when you hear that they just haven't been favored in an SEC game for so many years. It's a sign of how far this program has come despite the 2 recent losses.
Well, it's unbelievable what Sam Pittman has done. And he was in Georgia for a few years as the old line coach. I got to know him a little bit, and he is a tremendous coach. First off, players love him. He does a tremendous job on the recruiting trail as well. Just brings a lot of energy, and just a good old dude that likes to have fun and loves football. You could tell by the interview. He doesn't care. The coaches don't care. They just want to go out there and play the game. But overall, this Arkansas team, is playing well on both sides of the football. I know defense has been a little bit of a struggle against their 2 previous tasks against Georgia and Ole Miss, but overall, a very good defense by Barry Odom on that side of the football. And then KJ Jefferson is an absolute beast at quarterback, running the football. He's getting better and better and more comfortable every single week, throwing it as well. It's a very even matchup. As we all know, the SEC West is a gauntlet. Every team from top to bottom can beat anyone on any given day. We saw that last week versus A&M and Alabama. So this is no different. I mean, you have two very competitive teams, two defenses that are offenses that want to try to find a way to run the football, and two defenses that are top 5 or 6, I would say, in the SEC right now.
And for Auburn, it seems like every week the first person we mention is not the head coach, it's not the star player on defense. It's Bo Nix, right? I mean, it's the quarterback. It's the guy who has been volatile, who's been benched at times, just one touchdown pass his last 4 games. Is he still looking over his shoulder to TJ Finley, you think?
I don't think so. I mean, watching TJ last year at LSU and then watching TJ in his reps this year at Auburn, I think Bo Nix is the better answer. Bo just needs to slow his feet down. Rick Neuheisel and I talked a lot about it last weekend on the broadcast. His feet are not timing up with the receivers. He's taking a 3-step drop. Receivers are not even to the top of their break yet. He gets off of them because he's like, oh my goodness, internal clock's telling me to get to my second and third read. Or what we see Bo Nix do all the time, just start running around in the pocket. He needs to slow down, feel a little bit more patient with his footwork. I think that's going to allow things to develop nicely for him down the field. And this Auburn offense also has to run the football. Tank Bigsby has been non-existent the past 2 weeks. He's one of the premier running backs in the SEC. They need to get him going early and often. Arkansas has struggled, like I said, versus Georgia and Ole Miss the past 2 weeks, stopping the run.
Yeah, that defense was so good for Arkansas on that 4-0 start, but giving up 45 points per game over the last 2. I'm sure you can chalk most of that up to the competition. Georgia and Ole Miss, elite on the offensive side of the ball. But what else have you seen from this Arkansas defense?
Well, they want to run that 3-3-5, the 3-2-6, less big bodies on the field. And when you face Georgia, you need more big bodies. We talked to Auburn last week, and they're actually going to put more size up at their defensive front. They actually run a 4-2-4-3. Arkansas needs to get some bigger bodies up there, maybe put a safety in the box to slow down the running attack and force Bo Nix to win the football game. I think that's the key for both defenses. If you want to win and have success, make the quarterbacks beat you with the arm. Don't let KJ Jefferson start running around. And for Arkansas, don't let Bo Nix beat you with his legs or with his arm, So they're going to stack the box. They're going to, once again, try to slow down Tank Bigsby, be able to play back on 3rd and long situations, and then find a way to corral. Don't let him get outside the pocket. Keep him within there because, like I said earlier, his footwork is just not very comfortable at the moment. He doesn't like to sit in there and be a true pocket quarterback.
KJ Jefferson, definitely not a pocket quarterback, as you mentioned. He can do it through the air, but also with his feet. Over 400 yards of total offense, 51 points against Ole Miss. It wasn't enough, but he did perform great. How does he match up against this Auburn D?
Well, he's a big physical runner. He's a mini Cam Newton. I know there's a lot of comparisons to that, and it's true. The size, the ability to run, to dominate the line of scrimmage, and he's getting better and better every week at throwing the football. So I think that's going to keep this Auburn defense at bay, keep them honest. But don't get it wrong. It is a zone read first offense, and you have to pay attention to the quarterback. Design runs, they'll like to spread you out, go 4 wide. They'll motion the running back out of the backfield. If no one goes with them, they'll throw it to him as a screen pass. If they do go out, it's a quarterback draw the majority of the time after that. Like I said, he's a big runner. He's able to get 3-4 yards a pop, and then every now and then get an explosive run play as well. Really tough to defend, especially as he continues to develop his arm, throwing the ball vertically down the field.
Quickly, Aaron, what's the difference in this game going to be?
It's going to be Bo Nix and just his ability to protect the football, his ability to be a pocket quarterback, sit in there, and then also drops. That's been something that's really hindered this offense for Auburn. A lot of drops from the receivers. We saw it last week versus Georgia. We've seen it the entire season. The receivers have to play better, and the running game and Tank Bigsby have to get going for Auburn if they want to get a win this weekend.
All right, Aaron Murray going to be on the call on CBS, noon Eastern time, Auburn and Arkansas from Fayetteville. Thank you so much, Aaron. Have a great rest of the week and travel to the great state of Arkansas where you see the Hogs there. 2 losses already in conference play, but everybody in the SEC West has at least 1 loss. That includes Alabama coming off that loss to Texas A&M. They have another road game at Mississippi State this Saturday night. Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.